Everyone had already written the ending to Joey Logano's 2025 season. No wins in 14 months. Sitting outside the playoffs. A three-time champion running out of time. But nobody told Logano that story, because on Sunday night at North Wilkesboro, he led 323 out of 450 laps, won the first points race at that track in 30 years, and reminded every single critic exactly who they were dealing with. Let's break it all down. North Wilkesboro Speedway was built in 1947, making it one of NASCAR's oldest short tracks. Located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, it is a 0.625-mile short track, small, tight, and physically demanding. The last points race held there was September 29, 1996, when Jeff Gordon beat Dale Earnhardt by 1.73 seconds. That was 10,885 days ago. After 1996, the track went completely dormant. Weeds and trees literally grew through the middle of the racing surface. The facility sat empty for nearly a quarter century. Then Speedway Motorsports stepped in, cleaned up the entire property, and NASCAR brought the All-Star race back to North Wilkesboro in 2023, 2024, and 2025. The track was repaved in November 2023. But Sunday's race was different from every All-Star event. At 450 laps and 281.25 miles, it was the longest race in North Wilkesboro history on an asphalt surface. The crowd was sold out, packed to the top row. One fan at the track described it perfectly. The crowd was electric, lots of comers and goers all throughout the field. Everywhere you looked you saw side-by-side racing. Just an old-school NASCAR stock car race. This was not an exhibition. This was real points, real playoff implications, real history. Joey Logano is a three-time Cup Series champion, 2012, 2018, and 2022. But the 2025 season had been a painful one. His last victory before North Wilkesboro came at Texas Motor Speedway in May 2025, 14 months without a win. He was sitting 17th in the standings, outside the top 16 playoff cutoff. Critics were openly questioning whether his best days were behind him. With 5 races left before the chase field locks in, the pressure was enormous. Every point mattered. Every finish mattered. Before the race, Logano told reporters with quiet confidence, "I think we have a fast car." That turned out to be the understatement of the entire season. A win would automatically lock him into the chase. Without one, he needed other drivers to stumble while he collected strong finishes. This race was essentially must-win territory. The drama started before a single lap was even completed. Saturday qualifying was rained out, and the grid was set by the NASCAR rulebook based on owner points. Ryan Blaney was supposed to start on the pole in the number 12 Ford, but a power steering problem forced his team to send him to the back of the 37-car field. That handed the top starting spot to Gibbs. Logano himself started 11th after the rain-out grid reset and had to work his way through the entire field. Ross Chastain had an even rougher start. He failed multiple pre-race inspections, was sent to the rear, and had to serve a pass-through penalty before the race even got properly underway. So before anyone even turned a competitive lap, the night was already producing chaos. Gibbs took command early, leading the first 40 laps from the front. Then the first yellow flag flew. Zane Smith and John Hunter Nemechek made contact, and Nemechek spun through turn 2. Denny Hamlin was the only driver who stayed out under caution, restarted on older tires, and took the lead. Then, on lap 45, pit road turned into a collision zone. Kyle Larson pulled out of his stall after a quick 2-tire stop, and Connor Zilisch came flying in right behind him. Zilisch's left front fender slammed directly into Larson's right front wheel. Both drivers kept going, but Larson finished 34th in Stage 1. His night essentially ruined in a single moment. Gibbs recovered and won Stage 1, barely holding off Shane Van Gisbergen. Logano finished 3rd, quietly positioned and patient. Hamlin was 4th. But then Gibbs won the race off pit road during the stage break, and immediately got hit with his speeding penalty, sending him back to the rear of the field. That single mistake opened the door wide open for Logano. On lap 113, coming out of turn 4, Logano passed Van Gisbergen for the lead. Once he was out front, he did not look back. By lap 150, he had built a 3.5-second lead over Chase Elliott and had even lapped Ty Gibbs, the same driver who had led the opening 40 laps. Then came the moment that reshuffled the entire race. On lap 183, Alex Bowman was attempting to enter pit road from the outside lane. He turned directly across Tyler Reddick's nose coming off turn 2, and both cars spun onto the pit road entrance. Bowman's radio message to his crew chief said it all. "I thought I had a hole, but maybe I didn't." That caution landed directly in the middle of green flag pit stops, trapping Chase Elliott, William Byron, Chris Buescher, Austin Cindric, and Christopher Bell 2 laps down. They earned 1 lap back through the wave-around rule, but by the lap 193 restart, only 15 cars remained on the lead lap. It got worse on lap 199. Christopher Bell got loose entering turn 3, while racing Josh Berry slid up into Berry's left rear and sent Berry spinning into the safer barrier in turns 3 and 4. Broken suspension ended the number 21 Wood Brothers Ford's night completely. 2 major contenders gone in just 16 laps. Logano won Stage 2, his first stage win of the entire 2025 season. Behind him came Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, and Van Gisbergen. And by that point, Logano had already led more laps than in any race since the 2022 season finale, the exact race where he clinched his last championship. The final stage ran 175 straight green flag laps without a single caution. Old school, grinded out short-track racing in front of a packed house. Even the physical conditions were brutal. Despite it being a night race, the North Carolina July heat and humidity were punishing inside the cars. Van Gisbergen actually radioed his crew mid-race asking for sugar because he was cramping. He later said, "It just soaked the whole time. When I stopped, I went, OS asterisk asterisk, I'm pretty cooked. Asterisk." Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin's number 11 Toyota was getting stronger on the long run, closing the gap and making Logano work for every position through lap traffic. The decisive moment came on lap 359. Hamlin pitted his number 11 Toyota for fresh tires. Logano followed on lap 360, 1 lap later, and exited pit road with roughly a half-second lead. That margin decided the entire race. Logano himself confirmed it. Denny got really good there the last run. Honestly, it was whoever was out front was going to win the race. Ryan Blaney's night then collapsed further when he received a speeding penalty on lap 365, dropping him 15 positions and sending him from a potential podium finish to 11th place, 2 laps down. Logano crossed the finish line 0.859 seconds ahead of Hamlin. The race featured 17 lead changes among 9 drivers and 5 cautions covering 43 laps, with the final stage completely caution-free. Climbing out of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang Dark Horse, Logano was direct. "It's good to get back into victory lane. It's been a tough year." So getting the Shell Pennzoil Mustang doing some big, smoky donuts around this place felt really good. He credited crew chief Paul Wolfe for the preparation. "Paul put together a good car. I think I know exactly what I need to go fast around this place. He's able to give it to me." Logano had tested at North Wilkesboro twice during the off-season. That preparation was clearly reflected in the result. When asked if he was the Wilkesboro Whisperer, he responded, "I don't want to be a one-track wonder, but right now it's a good one to be good at." On the standings, he was equally clear. "I knew coming into this weekend, we've got to capitalize on the points. A win was great, but we really need the points. Really capitalized on those tonight." Hamlin was gracious. "Great battle. At least I was able to keep them honest there. But he had a lot of speed and never gave up on the short run or the long run." Despite finishing second, Hamlin stretched his points lead over Tyler Reddick to 68 points. Van Gisbergen, who tied his career-best oval finish in 5th place after leading 49 laps, admitted, "When I took the lead, I got pretty excited. I didn't know what to do." He described the track as a bit like a road course, which explains his comfort level at a track most oval specialists found difficult. This win was Logano's 38th career Cup Series victory, the 23rd most all-time. It was his 36th win with Ford, placing him 3rd in Ford history, behind only Ned Jarrett, 43, and Bill Elliott, 40. It was also his 50th career victory, with Team Penske and Ford across NASCAR's top 3 series combined. The 323 laps led represented a career best in a single race. The win also marked the 400th all-time NASCAR points victory for Roush Yates engines across the top 3 series. Logano's consecutive winning season streak extended to 15 straight seasons, the longest active streak in the Cup Series. The all-time record belongs to Kyle Busch, who won in 19 straight seasons from 2005 through 2023. The win also completed a full Ford sweep of the weekend, with Ryan Blaney winning the week before at Atlanta and Chandler Smith capturing the Truck Series race on Saturday at North Wilkesboro. Logano jumped from 17th to 15th in the standings and is now 49 points above the cutoff line, back in the provisional chase field with 5 races remaining. Eric Jones dropped below the top 16 as a direct consequence of this result. Shane van Gisbergen moved up to 14th in the standings, now 54 points above the cutoff, after scoring stage points in both stages. Denny Hamlin still leads the championship, now 68 points ahead of Tyler Reddick with 5 races before the chase field locks in. On the in-season challenge front, Todd Gilliland advanced to the $1 million final with an 8th place finish, while Ryan Blaney eliminated Christopher Bell by finishing 11th. The final will be Gilliland versus Blaney at the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, with the highest finisher winning $1 million. Both are Ford drivers, meaning Ford is guaranteed to claim the in-season challenge title. Next up, the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis, airing at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT Sports, True TV, and HBO Max. The fans at the track and online largely agreed on one thing: North Wilkesboro delivered. One fan who attended described taking their niece to her first race there as a deeply personal experience. Despite the brutal July heat, the atmosphere was described as something special and historic. Online, opinions were split on the final stage. Some felt the 175-lap caution-free run was predictable once Logano cleared pit road. Others pushed back. I think people just wanted more chaos. Not every race can be hype moments. On Logano specifically, one fan summed up the general sentiment: you should know better. Even if you hate Logano, you never count him out. The Logano-Hamlin 1-2 finish also drew sharp reactions from the NASCAR community. 2 of the sport's most polarizing figures on the podium at the same time. Joey Logano just reminded everyone what a champion looks like when his back is against the wall. He entered this race 14 months without a win, sitting outside the playoff cut line, and responded by leading 323 out of 450 laps at one of the most historic short tracks in NASCAR history. North Wilkesboro Speedway delivered the race that fans and the sport needed. Real history, real stakes, and a 175-lap caution-free finale that tested every driver on the track. 5 races remain before the chase field is locked. Logano's win just reshuffled everything. The question now is, was North Wilkesboro a one-night statement, or the beginning of something bigger heading into the chase? Let us know in the comments. Do you think Logano makes a deep playoff run? And should North Wilkesboro become a permanent fixture on the Cup Series schedule? Next week, we head to Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400, a $1 million in-season challenge final, and a championship race that could look very different by Sunday evening. See you there.